All right, so I'm here with my wife Julia, and we're going to be playtesting Uncharted Space,
Yeah.
kind of figuring it out where the tweaks are needed and what other stuff we need to add in order for the game to be balanced and successful. Um, just because Julia is new more to the concept of this game and the rule play by play. For the playtest, there's three questions that I want you to keep in mind when we're playing. One is this fun
Mm-hmm.
game for you and something that you would want to play in the future
Mm-hmm.
with some adjustments? And then two, what do you like about it? And then three, what do you not like about it? And what would you want to change from it?
Okay.
Cool. All right. So in Uncharted Space, the game essentially is about collecting enough resources in order to meet a win condition, getting 10,000 gold in order to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that by building excavation sites as well as farms in order to gather resources.
Okay.
And so during the game, the actions that you take help you gather resource tokens in order to build excavation sites and farms. But then you also get a certain amount of gold each turn, in order to be able to spend and work towards building those things, but then also cash in towards the total 10,000 gold. So if you played Splendor, just like in Splendor, you want to make sure that you're doing your best to build your base. You
Mm-hmm.
also don't want to take too long and then it's like too late at the end of the game to catch up, right? So you got to be careful with your strategy on how you do that and how you manage your resources. Looks like Kayla actually said that she was ready, so I can go ahead and jump in too. Don't want to leave her hanging completely on it. So we'll go ahead and bring her into it. Hey,
Hello.
Mykaela. Hey.
Sorry about
You're all good. So I actually just started explaining the rules to my wife about Uncharted Space. Started sharing, I'll share my screen with you here so you can see what's going on too. But I've already explained the premise of the game and a few questions that we have for her to think about, which is, is the game fun and something you would want to play in the future? What do you like about the game and what do you not like about the game and would want to change? Or if it's
that.
just simply a game that maybe she's not interested in. Um, so the first thing you do in order to set up the board is we would shuffle the deck here, and those would be the event cards that we're going to shuffle. We already have some event cards that are pre-prepared or prepared in advance in order to use for this specific playthrough. Um, and then you would also set up your pieces on the board of where you want to start. So, for example, this is going to be Mykaela. She's going to be using what she calls Terry. It looks like a pterodactyl, so she called it
Oh, okay.
that. Yeah. And then I'm going to be using this piece,
Mm.
kind of like a UFO looking. And then you're going to
What
be
about?
this piece right here. Sorry, I'm not super. It's a little sensitive with Blender, so
So like a little
you
spaceship.
can do the
Yeah,
best.
it
Yep,
is.
so you're like a little spaceship here, yeah.
Cool.
So players choose a piece on the board where they want to go, and they go ahead and place that there to begin their turn. One thing, Mykaela, we will want to add is little dots onto these in order to indicate what kind of resources they'll get from mining for like the ruby, emerald, sapphire, and so on. Um, so that's something we can work on together after this, just so we know which one's which. Is there a way to break up
Press
the
H.
piece individually?
That one is to hide uh, the ball.
Oh, okay.
On the
Whoa.
right side, on the right side, it says you can unhide and hide it with the eye logos of the object.
These guys right here. Boom. Okay. Boom.
And
All
yes,
right.
you can, but it will take a while to join and conjoin them. So basically, you just click on the object, go to edit mode on the top left, change the object to edit mode,
Okay.
and then put your cursor on one of the platforms,
Mm-hmm.
and then press L.
Okay.
There you go. And then if you want to separate the object, just press P, and then it will say selection. Press P on the keyboard, and it gives you optional choices, selections, separate selection, or the material. So selection.
And so if I just want to color it like slightly pink or slightly red, what would be the best way to do that from there?
For like on top of the for on the platform of the
Yeah,
game
just
board.
like on the piece. Even if I just wanted to make like a little dot, like paint a little dot onto it, is there an easy way to do that?
Um, you can click on one of the faces for the platform, and then you can color it in with the material on the right side. It says material, and then on the bottom, um, sorry, not the bottom, not. Hold on, let me. Sorry, I'm not really good at explaining, but I am good at demonstrating.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Give me a second.
I wish there was a way to like dual change things inside Blender.
So on this platform, you can basically just click on that on one of the side platforms if you want.
Okay.
That's a good choice. And you go to materials tab, you add a material, choose to select the pink color of the material,
Where do you
and
add
then
the
assign it.
material?
Press the plus button,
Okay.
and then there is an arrow going down,
Mm-hmm.
browse materials to be linked. And then there is all the materials that are assigned
Okay.
already on individual. You
Mm.
click on the material, it will be assigned to that material, but it won't show. But if you want to assign it to the face of that platform, you just click on assign, and it's assigned to right there.
So like that. Okay, cool. I like it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead then and also grab this guy right here. Looks like I gotta go back to object mode. Mm-hmm.
And if you want to duplicate the object, all you got to do is Control D.
Control V. Okay.
No, Control D.
Oh, Control D. Gotcha. Slowly going down.
Oh,
Wrong one.
you can be able to lock the object, so you won't be able to move it around.
Where'd it go? Oops. Where did I put it?
Gonna. Do you see the top right? Do you see all of the viewpoints? You can put your viewpoint on. Click on the which side you want it to be at, parallel or horizontal. On the top right, XYZ. Click on one of those sides, and then you're able to, and then just scroll. You can use a. There you go.
Is that the raid piece right there?
Mm-hmm. For the XYZ, you can be able to do that, and then on the board as well if you streamlining. It's much easier if you put it like this, and then you can just drag it in, and it will show.
So now I just gotta drag it up, right?
Easy. There should be a scene showing right there. And then you can hide the second board if you like behind the paper.
Aye. It's hard because like in Unreal Engine, there's like coordinates for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not seeing an option for coordinates in this one.
Oh, um, if you like, on the right side, there is a box, an orange box logo.
Okay.
It says object properties and then location. You must do that if you like.
I think I finally got it though. To the right spot. There we go. Boom. Ooh, that took a while. Where'd you say that was again though, on your side?
Right there.
Okay.
This one, the object properties. Click on the object and object properties, rotate, location, scale.
Okay. I see. Cool. All right, so Julia, with these pieces, um, we're gonna set up the raid in the very middle. We're gonna make sure we got our event cards are all stacked up. Our dice is ready to go. We got our resource tokens right here. Here's our farms and excavation sites that we'll be using. Um, and then these are the uh,
The crops.
yeah, the crops, and then these are the steps that we'll use and for a turn. So for a turn, if it's at the beginning of a round, you're gonna draw an event card and you're gonna read it aloud to everyone else to see. You're gonna roll the dice, and you're gonna collect resources based on excavation sites, farms that you have, and collect one for the resource that your pawn is touching. And for the one that your pawn is touching, you can only collect one resource that's around it, not three, like the one that your excavation site may be touching. You can move your player up to a max of 3 tiles, and you can trade with players or merchants for things that you want. Any quantity is allowed as long as everyone agrees it's a fair trade, or the two players agree to it. Build bases or upgrade your fleet, and you can cash in resources for gold. And so for upgrading a fleet, as you do that, if there's the base fleet, and then the 3 levels are Admiral, Lord, and Emperor, and they're very expensive in order to build it. I just put a random number here, but we're gonna do 1,000, 2,500.
I was gonna say, didn't you need 10,000 to win?
Yeah, I was just putting a random one here, and then 3,000. So in order to lock those levels, so you pay a lot of money, but the only reason someone would want to do it is if they're looking to attack a lot of other captains to get like loot and resources from them. So your fleet also only has a certain amount of health, so if you get raided by another captain or because of an event card or whatever, then you can lose the amount of resources that your excavation sites can handle. Um, so yeah, so we got 4 event cards that we prepared. beforehand, and we're going to just use them in order. And so that means we're going to do 4 rounds, just the best that we can to kind of make sure some of it is making sense. We might not be able to build an excavation site or whatever during that turn, but it's just making sure that during this beginning part of the game, it makes sense, the turn flow, and that people are able to start actually collecting resources to work towards what the purpose of the game is. Just making sure that that flow actually makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Should I be recording this?
Cool. I'm recording it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me check too, just to make sure. Yep, I am. Okay. So, we'll have Julia go ahead and go first. And so I'm going to bring up a random dice simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 dice.
Yeah. And so we're just going to use 2 dice. Number of dice 2, sides on the dice, they're going to be 6 and 6. So we're going to go ahead and...
Oh, I think you just go to that first.
That's different, yeah. Roll die. Okay, so you got 9. So what you're able to do is, from where your pawn would be, let's move over towards that. So this guy right here. So you're able to move around to 3 different spaces. So if we color the board real quick, let me go ahead and do this. And you said Control D to duplicate that?
Yes. On the object that you duplicate?
Mm-hmm. Do I have to click on this and press like Control C or anything
Oh,
like that?
no. You just click on it and assign on of the material. Object whatever of what I meant is like on object node, you just duplicate the object.
Oh, okay.
But if you want, you can just click on the whichever part. You don't have to sign it individually. You just highlight one of the platforms and then you just assign all. There you go. And it'll do its bidding. Because it's in edit mode. You're editing the one single object, nothing else. That is conjoined together. There you
Sweet. I pick up quick. Woo!
go. Sorry.
No, you're good. I totally get what you mean, though. There's like so many things in Blender. It's hard to always say exactly where things are when like they're so small. And
I'm still learning Maya, but I do not know how to do
uh-oh, what happened here?
Control Z.
Oh, but now it's doing this.
Oh no. You go to the first material.
Yeah.
The first material. The 0.35.
This guy.
And then you have to scroll all the way down. Because I think you assigned it to a different not all the way down. Go back to the material section and then click on the down arrow right next to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And 0.33. Here. There you go.
Okay. Oh man, is there a
You
way to like?
accidentally
Is there a way to move
Yes.
forward to redo the last mistake you did, or that's okay?
What do you mean? I'm not too sure.
Sometimes like you can toggle back and forth between edits.
Oh yeah, you can. Control Z and everything, and replacing that material with a new one. You can be able to make a new material and save that material later on, or you can create another material with a different texture. It will save it inside of your files folder. On the
Okay.
top right, it will show you all the files for all the materials, assets, and collections of what you actually do. Yeah.
So on the right side, if you want to add a material, wait. On the right side, you have to click on the plus button. And then you add the material from there. And then you
Gotcha.
assign it.
Gotcha.
Alright, I know there's like a lot of materials. There you go.
Okay. Sorry, Julia. Still figuring stuff out.
I would like to go to bed too. I need to shower in the morning.
Let's just go with this for now then. So we got emeralds, we got sapphire, and we got rubies, right?
Yeah.
So Julia, you rolled a 9.
Yeah.
We're going to say for this game that...
Are you writing me a new card?
Huh?
Are you making me a new event card that doesn't exist?
No. So we're just saying whenever you roll a 9, those are for all rubies. When you roll a 6, those are for emeralds.
So, question.
Yeah.
The colors that you put on the board, those are resources?
Certain
Okay.
resources.
And usually it would be these things. These things would be in those spots.
So those are tokens you receive from collecting them.
Okay, because this is.
So if you land on the platform,
right?
you'll basically of how much minerals you'll be able to get. Yeah. Like the green one, you get the emeralds, ruby, and then
Yeah, like wherever you're, even if you don't roll it, wherever your character lands, you get to choose one of that resource.
I guess my question was just in terms of, making this a real thing. If this is supposed to be a board game, does the board come looking something like this, where it has stuff, or is it like Settlers where you kind of have to like randomly
You just randomly put
stuff down? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically you put the platform down on whichever surface you want to add for the minerals, whatever you want it. It depends upon the game master where he wants to assign the platforms on where you want to earn the emerald, sapphire, and ruby. So if you land on one of those platforms, you'll earn of how much gold minerals that you will get.
Right. And so like the rolls will always signify a certain resource, but we'll probably make it where they're like tokens where you distribute throughout the board. So instead of it being So's Catan where like certain numbers are certain places, everyone knows if I get to this part, since like emeralds are more valuable than rubies and diamonds are more valuable than any other, if I can get to if I can claim these certain types of resources, then whenever I get this roll, I get like a chance of getting a lot more value out of it.
Okay.
So you have the choice to move up to 3 different ones and be able to choose a resource of your choice. So these are the options that you have right now. It goes ruby. We'll say it goes ruby, emerald, sapphire for this game. What are the 3 moves you want to take in order to get to make the most out of your turn then?
And so is it along the lines?
Yeah, so like 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I want to go there next to the sapphire.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa.
Control D. There you go.
Ta-da.
This system is weird.
Yeah, I mean it's meant to be more like a modeling software.
Okay.
So it's not like for playing a game. Well, I mean it's to make games, but not like this.
Well, just that you couldn't just like click and drag. It had to be very
Oh,
directional, like grid-like.
so sorry, my throat's acting up.
Me too.
So Julia grabs a sapphire, and since it's just the beginning of the game, she ends her turn, and the sapphire is worth, we'll say, 200 gold. And so Julia would have the option to cash it in or to keep it towards building a resource. And let me bring up the rules on it. In order to build a farm, you need 2 energy tokens, 1 ruby, 1 sapphire, and 1 diamond. And to build an excavation site, you need 2 rubies, 2 diamonds, 3 wheat, and 3 energy, is what I put. So you gain energy by going to different tiles as well, and then you gain wheat by also building certain ones. But then if you need excavation sites or farms to build those things, it's like, how do you get them in the first place? So what I'm thinking is, if you want to upgrade the tier of a farm or excavation site, you need that. But in order just to make an excavation site, I'm going to change the requirements on that for the sake of the game. So that's a note that I'll make to myself to change.
We don't have class, right? On Tuesday? Oh, wait, today is Tuesday.
On Thursday is the last one, yeah.
The last one, okay. And then is there like a presentation on the board games or anything? Or
There's not, no.
damn.
But
Okay.
we do get extra credit if it's the best one, which is cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right, so now it's going to be Mykaela's turn. We're going to go to the dice roller. And she rolls. Oh, sorry. I'm dumb. We should have pulled the event card. So the event card is gain 1 extra resource this round. So Julia gets 2 sapphires, which puts her
Mhm.
at 400 gold. Okay, so Mykaela rolls. She gets a 10.
Nice.
And then you get to choose up to 3 spaces where you want to move. But then I'm like, if we only move 3, what's the point of rolling a dice right now? You know?
Mhm.
Because I was debating in my mind between doing, like, dice can help you know when a raid is going to come, so that's important to have dice because you need to be prepared for a raid. But what do you guys also think the dice could be beneficial for, rather than
It
just
could
moving
be
3
a
spaces?
bonus. It could be a one. It could be also a bonus move. If you pull an event card, you can be able to use 4 dices. Basically a bonus event card. Maybe that's a good idea that would come up.
Okay.
The other dice would be
Yeah.
of how many maybe attacks or
So what do you guys think
um
about, depending on what you roll, that's a resource that you get to collect? Like if you roll 10, you get a diamond. You roll a 5, you get ruby. So that way you're automatically collecting something, and then you can also move to gain like an extra resource. What do you guys think
yeah,
about that?
yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so Julia, you rolled a 9 in the last one.
Yeah.
So we'll say if it's 9 through 10, diamond. And then
Considering
That's a good point.
It goes to 12.
So we'll do 10 through 11 through 12 then for that. 9 through 10
Mhm.
will be sapphire. 7 through 8 will be emeralds. 6 through 5 is going to be rubies. And then we'll say 4 is raid for now. And then if it's 3, 2, or 1, then you just we could do it where if you roll, because there's not going to be 1 because you got 2 die. If it's 2 or 3, you get to choose an energy or a wheat token. So that can actually help benefit you towards building more resources quicker, because those are also lower chances of those ones being rolled. So in that case, Mykaela rolls the 10, so that gives her a sapphire. And then you can move your pawn up to 3 spaces. So where do you want to move your guy?
You want to move to the right, all the way to the right up,
It's like,
like one right next to the moon.
so this will be 1 move, then
Mhm.
this will be 2, and then this will be 3.
Yes,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Alrighty. Alright, I'll go ahead and roll then. So I got a 7. So that means that I get an emerald. Sorry, Mykaela actually gets 2 because everything is doubled.
Why was it double?
Because the event card is everyone gains an extra resource.
Oh, just during this round.
Yeah, just during this round. So I gain 2 emeralds. And I gotta find where I'm at. Right here. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, and 3. So I'm gonna get 2 emeralds, and then I'm gonna get 2 sapphires. And I'm gonna end my turn there. So that's the end of the round. Julia's turn. So event card, diamonds are abundant. Any cashed in this round will be 150 gold instead. So if anyone,
What?
any diamonds that are cashed in,
Okay.
so there'll be like 150 gold. So like there may need to be some balance tweaking on how much they're worth when they cash in based on their value. Like rubies are 25, emeralds are 50, sapphires are 75, and diamonds are 100. And then it could be like double their value.
Gotcha.
Like diamonds are double their value. Instead of 150, it's 200.
Based off the event card.
Yeah, so for now we'll just say though 150. So Julia rolls, she gets 3, so she gets a energy or a wheat token. Which one would you want to get?
Say that again.
An energy or a wheat token. In order to build a farm, you need 2 energy tokens. In order to build an excavation site, you need 3 wheat energy and 3 energy.
I'll take energy.
Okay.
I don't have it right now.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and now you can move. You can stay where you are, or you can move 3 spaces again.
I think I'll just stay where I am. Seems like a good spot.
Okay. Were you touching the sapphire
I was,
before?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I may have gotten brought back to where I was before.
Oh, I probably hit like Control Z and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we moved you back anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So Julia now has 3 sapphires. It's gonna be Mykaela's turn. So far, what I do kind of like about it is at the beginning of the game, it's pretty quick,
Yeah.
but there's also
Yes.
not a lot to it.
No.
There's not a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Basically, how much of the event cards occur because it all depends upon making it more fun by using the event card all on occasion of which place you are in.
That's the raid piece. Just like
Include
camera.
including the raid. Um, I don't know if the AI should be, oh, not the raider should be like a bot or something, but I don't think it can. Like, you can be able to use the raid. The host can be the raid, and he controls the raid. Because he's partially playing. I'm not too sure. That could be a good idea for the host to control how the raiders work onto the game board.
So do you think
That's
like raiders should be able to roll and move around in a certain direction in the map?
Yes, the host. That could be a good idea, though. To be honest, instead of just having like partially the raiders staying on that platform for too long, they could actually move around. But the only option of who's actually going to move, is it like one of the players? It seems that some players don't want to be the raider, if they want to or not, or you can just make the host be the raider because it is um required, I would say.
Hmm.
If you like to make it required for the host to be the raider instead, controlling where that piece will be landing on. And a battle between player and the raider, there is a higher amount by using the dice. You can roll the dice of how much damage you will deal to the raider. As 50 health for you, and then the 50 health for the raider, and you roll the dice of how much you will deal damage to the raider. So optional turn 1, turn 2. That's what my decision would be. It's like basically like a Pokemon battle.
Okay.
But it depends upon dice roll of how high you deal.
So kind of like in Risk, you roll to see who wins the battle.
Yes.
What do you guys think about based on the roll? It's a certain amount of radius that the raider has. So like if you roll a 3, he only has a radius of 3 of wherever he's at. If he has a roll of 10, he has like a 10 cubed radius from where he's at, and depending on where he moves on the board, it can be like could put you in or out of his range.
You want to be out
Is
of
it
range, right?
Right.
Yeah, it depends upon being closer to him, of how many moves the raider can be able to move with the
Yeah.
dice, or it is optional because the raider has guns too as well. So it depends upon the roll of the dice of how far that range can reach you.
Mm-hmm.
It can be two optional ways. You can just stay there and stay in that position and roll the dice and see how far that blast shoots that player's piece and how much damage it will deal with. Or the optional one, the second option is moving closer to the area that they want to go, which either staying in that position and see how much damage you will be able to deal with to the player's piece, or of how many moves you can go to the dice.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, let's keep thinking about that one. So, you roll an 8. That means that you get, what is it, emeralds? Yeah, 1 emerald. And then you get to move 3 spaces. You're moving towards this space right here.
Yes,
Okay.
to the sapphire.
Boom. And then you get 1 more sapphire.
Thank you.
So you got 3 sapphires right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then for my turn, I roll 4. So I roll a raid. Nice.
Speaking of,
So let's go with Mykaela's idea, where this guy is gonna come basically visit me.
The pieces will be facing each other, on each end of the side, in the between of the hexagon platforms, and the piece facing each other,
Okay.
basically, if they are close.
So I guess we'll do 2 different rolls then, and we'll see which one's higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
2 dice each, 2 for the raider and 2 for the here, and
how much for the
of how
raider?
much of how much two dice, 2 dices, and 2 dices for the player.
Oh, two for each. Okay.
Yes, 2 for each.
So the raider rolled a 3, and I also rolled a 3. So I guess, do we want to say if the defender ties the same amount they can risk that they win, or do they
It would be a
lose,
draw.
or
It would be a draw between them. So
so just nothing happens. So it's like as if
nothing
I
will.
won. Okay. Cool. Do we ever want there to be a prize for beating the raider? Like you get resources from them?
Coins, maybe. It would be a good idea to get coins or.
Julia's like, you survive. Yeah, how about like
Maybe coins.
100 gold bounty if you take them
It
down? And then if
maybe.
they beat someone, that bounty doubles until they're defeated. So you can get
Yes.
like rewarded for being able to defeat a raider. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then wouldn't you want the raider to win at some point?
I mean, it could just
So
be
it
beneficial to the other people if someone else loses, because then if you hit it again, you can get gold,
That's fair.
or you can earn gold back. Because if you lose to the raider, you pay them 100 gold. Okay. And so basically that bounty that the raider starts collecting is because it's gold that they've collected from you.
I changed the coins to
Okay.
which we call the to the sorry. Change it to white though. It's not really gold. The coins in it, the cash,
Mm-hmm.
same thing anyway. It's right on top over there. Coins and then like diamonds too as well, aka cash.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. My wife had to use the restroom real quick, but I think we should just do one more event round, one more round, just because we're at 44 minutes and I don't want to
I can edit if
take
you
too
want me to.
much time. So
Yeah.
Let's go
Okay.
ahead and just do what the last well, the last two event cards actually were this. So they were, if you have the resources to build or farm, do so now. We're only 2 rounds into the game. No one has enough for the event resources. If you have more than 10 tokens, give away 5, but collect 50 gold each. So that could be useful for someone who's collected a lot. Like, we're only 2 turns in,
Mm-hmm.
but Julia already has 4 different resource tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So, within about 6 rounds, it's possible for someone to have over 10. Um, but how quickly do we want someone to be able to build a
Is it
resource site?
optional? Sorry, go on ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say? Optional for what?
Is it is it optional to place your own terrain at that specific spot and just your your own platform already, or do you have to purchase that area to place terrain, the or the crops or anything? And how much do you actually need to um add your resource farm and everything? For,
Yeah. So what I had for now is, like, to build a farm, you need 2 energy tokens, 1 ruby, 1 sapphire, and 1 diamond. And so you would cash that in order to build one. And then to build an excavation site, you need 2 ruby, 2 diamond, 3 wheat, and 3 energy. I'm wondering, just because they kind of produce similar things, I should lower the cost for the excavation site just so they're pretty similar. Like, I think instead it should be 1 energy token, 1 ruby, 1 sapphire, 1 diamond for a farm. And then
Mhm.
for an excavation site, it should be 1 emerald, 1 ruby, 1 sapphire, and 1 wheat token. So, like, they kind of pull from one another, and you do have to get lucky with one roll in order to collect it. But um, you're still able to work towards building a general resource space so that within less than 10 turns, you've already started building some excavation sites. And
Mhm.
I think around 20 to 25 turns in a game, that's kind of the goal that I want to shoot for someone to be close or have already reached about 10,000 gold.
And don't forget, it also depends upon how many players are added into the game and how much minerals, resources, and gold they will each earn.
Yeah.
So, but if there's a max of 5, there will be an increased amount of how they will earn or increase or decrease of how much they will have to earn from the resources, the minerals, and cash that they get from, or yeah, specifically earning if they land in one of the platforms for the sapphire, ruby, and gold. So we have to decide of how much that they will be able to earn. It's not
Hmm.
just less; it has to be a balanced um, a balanced amount of how much they will get due to the max of 4 or 5 players in the game.
Right. And so I'm looking at one of the last things that I wrote. Mhm. So for the end of the turn, each time you end your turn, the resources that you built, either excavation or a farm, they provide 100 gold each. So you can have up to 4 each, which means you can make 800 gold per turn. So really the biggest thing about building resources is it allows you to be able to just earn a lot of gold. And you have to move around and collect different like rubies and sapphires and stuff in order to build those resource sites. So I'm thinking in that
Mm-hmm.
way one of the main balance tweaks we'll need to make is so that the map has terrain that can only be used for an excavation site and terrain that can only be used for a farm. And the reason why they would build either or based on what's happening, because in a terrain that has an excavation site, maybe you're only going to find like rubies and diamonds, but there's never going to be an emerald in it. And then terrain that has like where farms and stuff can be built, you're only going to find other different types there. So people have to travel to both sides of the map, so to speak, in order to
Mm,
build both excavation and farm. But then they choose based on where they're at and where other players are, which ones they want to build in order to produce resources. Does that make sense?
yes, it makes sense a lot. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, there's definitely some balance tweaking that we need to look through when we do that. But I think this playtest has helped us kind of really understand a little bit more about what we're missing, but also that we have, I feel like, a good base understanding of where we want to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Julia. So now that we've kind of gone through like 2 rounds of the game, obviously there's some stuff that we're trying to work out and trying to change.
And
But
add on to
yeah,
as
and
well.
yeah. What are those questions we talked about at the beginning? What are your initial thoughts about the game? Is this a game that you think it would be fun to play?
I'd say so. I feel like it does have a lot of similarities to Settlers,
Mm-hmm.
but different, different enough that um, it'd be interesting to learn. Um, what I like about it, it's very visually appealing. I
Hmm.
think it's pretty.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
I see that. Yes.
She said thank you.
Yeah, you did a good job. Um, and I'd say just maybe what I don't like, but as you know, just sometimes directions for games kind of go over my head until it's like in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only done 2 rounds, so it's like I don't know what it looks like when I have
When things are
farms and
built
I
and when
see
you're doing
nations and
well.
yeah, and just like how that kind of accumulates over time.
As long as we
Okay.
don't
But I
make the
feel
game
like
too long,
that
so people
won't
won't really get
really
boring
be
that much.
solved until I could play a whole game of it.
Right.
So
Yeah, our goal of the game is to keep it under 25 rounds.
okay.
And if and even then I feel like that can be a little bit long
I was gonna say
because
like this could be a very long game. It's a very
if you're playing 5 people and each person takes like 2 minutes each,
yeah.
then that's 10.
That
That's like
was
over an hour and a half.
that was another thought I had.
Yeah,
With
and it
because
also
I have like
works
settlers
with
in my
timing
mind.
to
Um, but it just seemed like
everything
a
else.
very big board.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems almost too much. I don't know. Maybe it
Oh,
could be a little bit
there,
smaller.
there's
Okay.
another
That was
board,
me.
but it he's using only
Are
like
those
the for the
African?
5 board. This is just the max of how much people there will be. This one right here is just uh uh 2 to 3 players
Yeah.
for the second board. I know it's kind of small, but it's pretty much eligible to work our
So
way around it and finish the game on time. But to make it more fun, you'll be able to add 5 players for the bigger game board because of how much space it is and how much materials and minerals have added onto the board, like the excavation, the crops, and then terrains that have been um, already been placed. There won't be enough space if there's going to be 5 people into that small board. So I had to increase the size to um, 6, 4 layout of the hexagons for 4 to 5 players.
Right.
The other, it would be 2 to 3 players for this small board,
Yeah, so
due to the amount of players and how balanced it would be on adding all of the terrains, crops, and uh, platforms for the minerals and everything.
so with this board right here, like Mykaela was saying, this is basically the 2 to 3 person board that we would actually use if it was just
Okay.
us three. And then that one was like
The
the
4
4 to
to
5
5.
player. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So
I see that on your board.
yeah, like a lot, like a
Okay,
huge
and
difference in
that
terrain.
makes sense because I felt like for 3 people it did seem a little bit excessive, but I guess when you were playing with 5
Because
people,
of the materials and minerals.
You can suck it up, yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate Mykaela, obviously, you taking the time to not only help design this board, but to come playtest it. And thank Julia for being here to
Yeah.
playtest that with us and give some of your feedback.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and work on getting this turned in and hope y'all have a great rest of your night.
You gonna be editing the video?
I'm mostly just going to be uploading it as is.
Alright.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.